If Bob Myers is Nick Fury, then I'm going to have to say that Joe Lacob is Professor Moriarty, because the two of them may have just orchestrated something never before seen in the history of the NBA. I mean it, guys. The more and more you look at what's going on with the Golden State Warriors, the more you'll see that they have a potential 10-year dynasty ahead of them. With that being said, let's get down to it. Just to clarify though, before we begin, by dynasty, I just mean that they'll be somewhere within the top 5 teams in the league and capable of winning a championship in any given year. Now, some of y'all might think that a 10-year dynasty is crazy, but let's go over the history of a few of the longer dynasties to get things rolling. Dynasty number 1. From 1956 to 1969, the league was pretty much owned by Bill Russell and the Celtics. Within a span of 13 years, the Bill Russell Celtics dynasty won 11 championships, including 8 in a row. That is insane. Moving on to dynasty number 2. From 1979 to 1989 was the dynasty of the Showtime Lakers. This dynasty run hinged on a young Magic Johnson and an aging Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and during this period, they went to 8 finals and won 5 championships. Similar to the position the Golden State Warriors are in now, this era was led by aging superstars and youthful superstar potential. Next off, let's go to dynasty number 3. From 1999 to 2014, the Spurs were led by Tim Duncan, and they never missed the postseason, even once. During this run, they went to 6 finals and won 5 of them. As you can see, long dynasties do exist, and today we'll take a look at how the Warriors have the potential to have the longest dynasty in NBA history. From 2015 to 2019, the Warriors already had a dynasty run of 5 straight finals and 3 championships. During 2020 and 2021, they had a 2-year hiatus due to injuries. But let's take a look now on how they can potentially have a dynasty that runs up until the year 2032. First off, from the years 2022 to 2025, I can still see the trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green all playing at above all-star levels. With sports medicine, nutrition, and technology today, players are able to prolong their primes, as seen by LeBron James and Chris Paul. And with the way Curry and Klay shoot the ball and their playing style, they'll be more than capable of carrying the load of the offense during these next 3 years. Draymond Green, on the other hand, is currently 31 years old. Some of y'all might think that a defensive player like him is going to regress a lot and won't be able to carry his load by age 33 or 34. But let me remind you, Tony Allen, the defender that Lakers legend Kobe Bryant himself labeled as the best defender I ever faced, made an NBA all-defensive second team at the age of 35. With technology and nutrition on Draymond's side and his competitive drive, I have no doubt that Draymond can also be an effective defender when he's about 34 years of age. Next off, we have 2016 to 2028. At this point, Steph Curry will be about 38 to 40 years old, and Klay and Dre will be about 36 to 38. I feel confident that this trio will all end their careers together in a Warriors uniform. So during this period, they'll be the veterans of the team, providing leadership and stability to the players. And guess what? During this period of time, the new trio of James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody will all be about 25 years of age, just about to enter their prime. I'm still really high on James Wiseman, and I believe his floor will be an all-star and his ceiling will be an MVP. I predict by the age of 25, Wiseman will be averaging a minimum of about 25 points and 10 boards per game.
I trust in his decisions. And you trust probably his basketball IQ. He's got 3 fouls.
Jonathan Kaminga, on the other hand, is looking to be Giannis 2.0. Did you know that when Giannis was first drafted into the league, he was only 19 years old and stood 6'9"? Well, Kuminga is currently 18 years old and stands 6'8". If Kuminga gets about 6'10", every single redraft is going to have him as the overall #1 pick instead of Cade Cunningham. Kuminga is an absolute beast, and I see him becoming a perennial top 10 player in the league when he hits his prime.
Kuminga's going to get this last look. Top of the arc.
Last off, we have the number 14 pick of 2021, Moses Moody. Prior to the 2021 NBA draft, most sites like SB Nation pegged Moses Moody to be a top 10 draft pick in a loaded draft class. So don't let that number 14 fool you. Getting Moody at 14 is a steal for the Warriors, and he's proved that in the Summer League already. Shooting over 40% from three-point range and having high defensive capabilities is going to make Moody an invaluable piece for the Warriors' future.
And then it's during the pandemic, when you're in the bubble, it's a different situation. So
So having these three young Warriors all together at the age of 25 is going to be big, especially with the championship experience they gain in the next 3 years, playing alongside Steph, Klay, and Green. From 2026 to 2028, just like how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar passed off the Lakers to Magic Johnson, the current Big Three trio of the Warriors will pass off the Warriors to this next generation. Plus, although Steph and Klay will be a lot older, because they're shooters, they can still have court time because of their marksmanship. Perhaps they pull off what Ray Allen did with the Miami Heat against the Spurs in Game 6 of the 2013 Finals.
Just puts up a three, won't go, rebound Bosh, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang!
Draymond Green, on the other hand, can be the UD of the Heat. I just checked a few seconds ago, and apparently Udonis Haslem is still playing for the Heat at age 41. He hasn't really played any minutes in the last few seasons, but is still a real strong leadership presence, especially in the locker room, and I can definitely see Draymond playing that role when he gets a bit older. Anyway, moving on now, and then we have the years of 2029 to 2032. By this time, Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody will all be around 29 years old, in the midst of their primes, and if everything went well the last couple of years, these three should be able to dominate. I'm not saying they'll win every championship, but this is a serious Big Three, and if Bob Myers, aka Nick Fury, and Joe Lacob, aka Professor Moriarty, are still around, I'm sure they'll be able to surround these three with the necessary pieces to compete for a championship every single year. Some of y'all might be wondering now, how is this dynasty possible? What makes it possible, and why doesn't every team have a dynasty like this? Great questions. What makes this dynasty possible was, number 1, the Splash Brothers, number 2, injuries, and number 3, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's go with number 1 first, the Splash Brothers. The unique shooting abilities of both Steph and Klay.
Curry gets a look, fires away, back out to Green, Thompson, one fake, one dribble, one shot, got it!
This is huge because this will allow them to be effective for a longer period of time. Take John Wall, for example. When he came into the league, he was blazing fast. During his career, he made 5 All-Star teams, an All-NBA team, and an All-NBA defensive team. But unfortunately, his game was more predicated on athleticism and not on shooting. And as a result, due to injuries and age, although he's 2 years younger than Curry, he's more on the downside of his career, whereas Curry just won his 2nd scoring title and just had one of the best seasons of his career. The shooting of the Splash Brothers can carry the Warriors into the next Big Three era, similar to how Kareem was still being a force with the Showtime Lakers, even though he was past his prime. Next off, what made this dynasty possible was injuries. The Warriors were not looking to mimic the 76ers in their process, but due to injuries to both Curry and Klay, the Warriors missed the playoffs for 2 straight years, and this led to a 2nd overall pick in 2020, James Wiseman, and the 14th overall pick in 2021, Moses Moody. Lastly, what made this whole Warriors dynasty possible, and I mean from 2015 onwards, was the Minnesota Timberwolves. So we gotta thank them. Just for a quick recap of why we gotta thank the Timberwolves organization. In 2009, they had the 5th and 6th pick, but picked Rubio and Flynn, leaving the number 7 pick, Steph Curry, for the Golden State Warriors. In 2011, they had the number 2 pick, which they used on Derek Williams instead of Klay Thompson. Then, in 2020, they traded Andrew Wiggins and their top 3 protected pick, which turned out to be Jonathan Kaminga, for D'Angelo Russell. Guys, we should invite the Timberwolves to our next championship parade. That sounds like the least we can do. I don't know about you, but I look forward to the next present the Timberwolves give us. I wonder what that'll be. Anyway, have y'all been watching the Summer League at all this year? Moses Moody is going to be a problem, guys. And when I say problem, I mean a problem for every team in the league except the Warriors. I got a video for you here on that. This kid is going to play a big part in the 2022 seasons for the Warriors, and is going to be another weapon in the arsenal of Steve Kerr. Anyway, click the video, guys, watch it, and like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.